Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Doing a rapid fire this week, so let's hit it. Monica, played by Adriana Schlebica, is a school teacher by day and a supermodel in her off time, going by the alias Claudia to earn extra money to help pay off her father's debts. She finds herself ready to do a big campaign for a car commercial, but she has to work with the infamous womanizer Enzo, real name Stefan, played by Mateusz Banasiuk. They get closer when it's revealed that Stefan's niece Anya, played by Helena Mazur, is one of Monica's students, but Stefan is completely unaware that Monica and Claudia are the same woman. I'll admit, I've never heard of a Polish rom-com before. It's not any different than any other rom-com. From the moment you can identify what kind of story this is, you know exactly where it's going to go and how it'll end. It's the cliche of one or both romantic interests not liking each other, but then discover that there's something to like due to some tragic backstory, an end of second act breakup due to a misunderstanding or dumb argument, only to end up back together in the end. Like freaking clockwork. The real question is, are these cliches done well? Sure. The actors are fine with the material they're given and do bounce off of each other well enough. The kid characters are weirdly the funniest and most charming characters in the movie, and I'd be lying if I said there weren't a couple of cute moments. The issues are as follows. There's no reason why Monica's dad needs a borderline owing a gangster money subplot when it could have been simple everyday bills and debts. Not everyone needs to be kept in the dark about her alter ego. It's pretty lame that the movie picks and chooses who can recognize Monica when she's Claudia, and what the hell is with the subplot of the creepy co-worker who wants to exploit Monica's secret? Overall, it's your prototypical date movie. If you don't mind subtitles, then you'll be fine. If you're subscribed to Netflix, you can check it out. My honest rating for Squared Love, a strong 3 out of 5.
No ale to może tak awansem. Na kredyt, przez wzgląd na kilkuletnią znajomość z moją ukochaną bratanicą, proszę.
Dobra.
Super.
Nadia and David, respectively played by Nana Blondell and Anastasio Soulis, are college sweethearts now married, but their marriage is falling apart. In an effort to rekindle their romantic spark, David has booked a trip to northern Sweden for camping and hiking fun. However, the trip ends up becoming a nightmare when they are stalked by a sniper who is intent on killing the both of them. From a Polish rom-com to a Swedish survival horror, somewhere in here is a good idea. Buried deep in its guts, there's potential. But sadly, it's an idea that's almost inevitably dead on arrival. While I won't give anything away, it genuinely would not have mattered where you placed the big reveal. If it was at the beginning, the audience would have seen it coming a mile away. Place it at the end like it did here, and it just feels like random information. A mystery that the story never bothered to leave hints along the way. What makes this matter so much worse is the ending. By the time the credits kick off, I had this complex, empty feeling. In a better movie, this ending would have been bold and downright impactful. But because a lot of important information is thrown at us during the final act of the story, it feels closer to rushed and desperate to shock the audience. It succeeds, but not in the way that the filmmakers intended. This is an absolute shame because there are some well-executed moments. I do like the isolated snowy setting. I love some of the building tension early on when they first encounter the sniper killer. The acting isn't half bad from the two leads. They have great chemistry, and as the story progresses, you do grow to root for them and want them to make it out of the situation. But it just doesn't hold itself together for the entire viewing. Overall, it has a few good things here and there, but the final act just ruins everything. Not recommended. My honest rating for Red Dot, a weak 3 out of 5.
Det är hela tiden här inne ju. Du hade rätt, Nadia. Du skulle ha ringt.
Based on true events. Set in 1968, Bill O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield, is a petty criminal who finds himself forced by an FBI agent named Roy Mitchell, played by Jesse Plemons, to infiltrate the Black Panthers and get close to one of their most notorious leaders, Fred Hampton, played by Daniel Kaluuya. Well, the prequel to Get Out is certainly a lot better than I thought it would be. The only issue is that it doesn't feel like it ties into those events very well. I'm kidding. But it's good. Out of all the movies that I've seen with these two, and I happily challenge anyone to contradict me, both Kaluuya and Stanfield deliver their career best performances. Bill is so squirrely that I couldn't help but feel both sorry for the guy for how stressed out he is nearly every second he's on screen, as well as laugh for the same reasons. On the one hand, he knows that Mitchell has him by the balls and can twist in any number of creative ways to get him to do what he wants, and refusal will simply result in a ruined life. Whereas he knows that if he's revealed to be the rat in the Black Panthers, he'll get an equally creative punishment his way too. And Kaluuya, oh man, this man commands the screen. While Fred is mostly this intimidating force of charisma and power, Kaluuya does a magnificent job of balancing that out with some truly humane moments as he nurtures his relationship with Deborah Johnson, played by Dominique Fishback, and practically builds a community around him of common folks who legitimately love him and even rivals that respect him. Terrific performance. I suppose if I had something that could loosely be considered a complaint, is that it runs a bit too long for my tastes. It's not that it was ever boring, it's just by the 90-minute mark, I was feeling the runtime. Overall, this is a powder keg of talent and is well worth the watch. If you're subscribed to HBO Max, don't miss out. My honest rating for Judas and the Black Messiah, a strong 4 out of 5.
Because the capitalist has one goal, and that is to exploit the people. He can have on a three-piece suit or dashiki, because political power doesn't flow from the sleeve of a dashiki. Political power flows from the barrel of a gun.
Copy, voiced by Veronica Alva, is a spirited young girl who lives with her grandmother Petra, voiced by Leela Downs, and they live in the bustling village of San Jaime de las Jaibas that pays respect to their nearby sacred mountain. However, within this mountain is a trove of valuable minerals that a greedy corporate man wants to mine for himself. Despite Petra's objections, the townsfolk are promised a cut of the wealth that he gets. In an attempt to take matters into her own hands, Petra inadvertently reveals to Kopi that her missing mother is trapped in the mountain, whom then embarks on a journey to save her alongside her best friend Gus, played by Luis Angel Jaramillo, and her trusty dog Hiko, voiced by Pablo Gama Iturraran. I am definitely not the target demographic for this one. It's not a very good movie, but it's a harmless enough kids movie. Positives. The animation is really good. 2D animation is rare these days, which is a shame. It's very fluid and vibrant, sometimes stunningly so. And there is a soul to this story about respecting nature and the dangers of greed. Anti-corporate kids movies, gotta start 'em young. The primary issues are mostly narrative ones. Despite the title indicating that it's the dog that gets all the focus, it's really Kopi and Gus's story for the most part. She's traveling to save her mom, and Gus is traveling to help protect the mountain from being desecrated by the evil corpo. Hiko doesn't become a character of his own until pretty close to the halfway mark, and really doesn't become that important until past the halfway mark. The talking possum character was annoying. He's an obvious for the cool kids type of character, and the movie shoehorns in a second villain that amounts to nothing, even though he's built up to be a big player later on. There's more that I didn't agree with, but I have to cut this short. Overall, fine for kids, but I don't think any adults are going to get much out of it. If you're interested, check it out on Netflix. My honest rating for Hiko's Journey, a 3 out of 5.
Mire usted, madrecita, si quieres representar a la oposición, pues váyase al Congreso.
¿Y usted? Váyase a la abuelita.
Mark, played by Kyle Allen, is a teenager who has come to grips with the fact that he's trapped in a time loop, reliving the same day over and over again. However, his reality gets a new twist when he encounters Margaret, played by Katherine Newton, who is also reliving the same day as him. Due to this anomaly, the two decide to spend more time together and decide to take the chance to map out the city and scour it for perfect moments. I might say that the time loop thing is getting overdone, but this does just enough for me to like it. The opening for the story is downright fun and even sets up the rest of it to be intriguing. Mark has completely figured out the day to a T, is clearly having fun with it, and even briefly goes through the dramatic tropes that a story like this would go through, like the loneliness of being the only one living the time loop, basically indicating that it's not going to do these tropes, and much to my relief, it doesn't, for the most part. And of course, toward the end of the second act, I actually kind of enjoy what this movie is trying to go for. That Mark is actually the supporting character to the main character, even though the story does mostly revolve around him. My issues are as follows. The blossoming romance between Mark and Margaret feels a little sudden and not entirely justified, mostly because Margaret doesn't seem to express those same feelings toward him. Not that this isn't explained, I just wish she'd given signs that she was attracted to him too, rather than it just being from him. And without giving anything away, I don't know why Margaret's big secret, which honestly isn't that big a secret when you think about it, has to be kept from Mark. Sure, personal information can be as personal as you want it, but it just feels strange. Overall, it's flawed, but the genuine sweetness and heartfelt drama really pulls it through. If you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, I'm giving it my recommendation to check it out. My honest rating for The Map of Tiny Perfect Things, a 4 out of 5.
Ever think about it? We must miss so many of them. All those tiny perfect things are just poof, gone, lost forever. But not today.
Thanks so much for watching it, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.